Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery. Today, we're doing the Demko knives MG AD20. It's machine ground Andrew Demko 20, sent to me by Rusty Knife Lover by way of Big Red EDC. Before we get into the knife, let me say this. 22 veterans a day in this country take their own lives. Vets, I love you. You have a place here. We'll put some links in the description to some folks who can help you if you're struggling. All I know to do is raise awareness. We back the blue over here. We support Leo. How do you do that, Scab? We don't break the damn law. Let me stop right here. When I say that, I back the men and women who are put in a shitty job, okay? We don't talk about politics, religion, or her on here at all. I back the folks in blue, the law enforcers, the people. Let me make that clear. Now, we do that by not breaking the damn law best we can. Finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. Well, before I get into the knife, let me say this. These knives have made the rounds through the review circuit, and I'm the third or fourth guy to review them, and they come to me by way of Big Red EDC. Now, guys, listen to me. Everybody reviews knives differently. There's no right way. There's no wrong way. This knife community is full of outstanding men and women who just love knives and love community. We don't always have to agree. In fact, sometimes we can disagree. And if you don't agree with the way a knife reviewer reviews, I understand that. But please, and I'm asking respectfully, don't bring that to my page, because that's not how I feel. And the other thing is this: I appreciate all the compliments. God knows I do. But I don't want to compliment at the detriment of another knife reviewer. I ask that respectfully. Please don't do that. But I do appreciate all the kind words. Now, all of that being said, I know that's a little longer intro. Sometimes we just have to do things like that, don't we? Let me say this. While we're not here to do the aesthetics of the knife, the aesthetics of this knife fit me more. I love it. It's gorgeous. And of all the knives Rusty sent, this would be the one I would carry. Let me just say that up front. But we're not here to talk about that, really. We're here to talk about the functionality. Before we get into that, let me give you some specs on it. It's a 3.5-inch blade, about 3.3 cutting surface, made of 3V. They come in, I think, 20 CV and 3V. This one's 3V, and I could be wrong in that. God knows I am half the time. The overall length of the knife is 8.5 inches. The blade thickness is 0.179. It is a clip point. It is a machine ground flat grind. The handle is G10, 5 inches long, and the blade has a stone wash finish. The lock on this is another Demko innovation. You know, he did the Triad lock, the Chuck Norris of locks on steroids. He's my guy. The Shark lock is a fidget lover's dream. Now, we've seen a slight variation of that yesterday in the recoil lock, and somebody says, "Oh, it's not Scab, it's not the same." Okay, well, it looks the same and it acts the same, but you're right, I'm wrong. You're pretty, I'm ugly. What the hell ever. The Shark lock is a fidget lover's dream, and I play with the knife all through this video. I'm showing you some of this stuff up front just to show you the overall sharpness. Now, the little hump you see there at the top right there, that is the Shark lock. You simply push it back and the lock unlocks. Okay, you can open it that way. You can one-hand close it that way. It also has a hole in the blade that you can use for flipping. It has thumb studs for flipping. It has several ways you can open and close this knife. It has a large choil up front for comfort, and it has a sharpening choil on it as well. Now, like I said, this is 3V flat ground. And let me tell you something, son. I took, now, in all fairness, out of the box, because I am the third or fourth reviewer, I took about 15 minutes and stropped it up very, very well. You see, I used the Shark lock to open it there. Now, G10 is one of my favorite handle materials. And dude, you can do it all kind of ways. This is more of a grippy G10. It feels really good in hand. Again, no hot spots on this knife. Now, see, the sharpness level of this knife is insane. And with 3V, we get toughness and we get a little better edge retention. One thing I can say about Rusty is he knows his knives and he knows his blade steels, and he goes with things that last. Now, here's a little test that Captain Electro came up with. It's called chop the paper towel roll in half. Usually, I suck at it, but let's see if old Scabber can get some twainage here. Oh, son, in twain. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What does that tell us? One, the grind on this thing's awesome. Two, blade retention's awesome. Cut it in twain again, son. Y'all are going to see this several times because I have fun doing it. And somebody would say, well, Scab, what does that have to do? Well, listen, there, Grizzly Adams. Not everybody and their brother solely lives on a life and lives and dies by a knife every day. Some people like to fidget with them, and some people like to play with them. I mean, that's 90% of what I do with mine. I open packages and whip it all around, twainage. But knives are for fun too, guys. These are hobbies. And I love my hobby. Now we're going to do it in slow-mo, because old Scab don't half-ass, son. Okay, right there, pulled the shark lock back, deployed the knife. I love this lock. There we go. Going to close it. Look at there. Whip it open. One-handed. Now, for some of you guys who are around my age and who've made the same dumbass life choices and have busted up, beat up hands, this is a knife for you. I know it is expensive. I understand that. It's out of some people's price range, and I'll be honest with you, it's out of mine. But if it's one you wanted to save up and get, save up and get it. It's well worth it. American made. I like Demko. Dude, I've got a ton of Andrew's designs. I've got a lot of his cold steel stuff. Y'all know that. I showed you a couple thickness comparisons with the AD20 and the 4Max. This is, like I said, about a 3.5 inch blade. This would be something I would call a mid-range pocket knife. And I've heard people, oh, it's a beast of a knife and it's this and it's that, in reference to the size. It is a beast of a knife in what it can do. There's no doubt. Here we're doing the Donnie B All Day drop test, the throw it at the stump test by Donnie B All Day. And while we're talking about Donnie, guys, he's marching towards 10,000. Let's, as a community, get behind him and support D-Bad. Now listen to me. He gave away a medieval knight's helmet for me crossing 2,000. That's just straight up badassery from a brother from another mother. I love that dude with all my heart. I really do. And I want to support him. I want him to get to 10,000. And I will give something of equal or crazier coolness value away if he hits 10. I promise you that. Now, my other guy's Joe Love, Steel Forged and Fire Sword and Knife. And if you watched his live last night, it was a test. It was just like, wah, wah, wah. And it was enjoyable. And Joe's going to go live, I believe, tomorrow night. And if he is, we owe it to Joe to be there. That guy has supported me, has stood up behind me, gave Megatron a walkie. Let's get behind Joe and be there tomorrow night for him. The standing shout-outs, Carl Ruger, Captain Electro, the Shredder, all of those guys, my Fatwood Friday guys. Let's get over there and support these guys. Those are my shout-outs for today. Now, right here again, you see this knife just doing work. Comfortable in hand. I like this test right here, guys, because it does test the actual sharpness. You notice I'm not pushing down on the knife. We just kind of stabbed the knife in, didn't jam it in, didn't hammer it in. Just a quick stab. That's a West Virginia red oak right there, kind of a hardwood. Put the wood in, or put the knife in, and able to pull rope across it and cut it. That speaks to that edge. And I can't say this enough. I am the third or fourth knife reviewer. So that edge has held up crazy well. And all I did was strop it. That's all I did. Now, once I got done with the testing, I stropped it again so that I can send it on to the next reviewer. But I can tell you, this edge is fantastic. Now, while we didn't do a ton of stuff to beat on it, because, and here's the other reason. I was going to baton a little bit, but there is another knife reviewer after me, and I thought if you can't tell that that edge is good after 3 or 4 reviewers, I don't know what else to do. I mean, it's held its edge, it's held its sharpness. Yes, we stropped it, but all that does, guys, is stand the blade back up. I'm a huge believer in stropping. That's part of my daily maintenance on my daily carries, because I do cut a lot of cardboard, I do cut a lot of tape, I do cut a lot of paper, stuff like that at work. So it was no big deal. I stropped it. I've already stropped it again, getting ready to send it on. Now, right here, got an old water hose, just did like a push test. There's a little bit of saw in there, a little bit, but this was just kind of pushing the knife down. No problem. This is an absolute workhorse of a knife. Why do I say that? Do I say that because I've cut a little bit of rope and some water hose and things like that? No. I say that because everything I've cut, this knife has had 0 problems with. It's had 0, and I mean 0, hot spots. It's got some really, you see my thumb there is on the jimping. You can actually use that shark lock for a little bit of jimping too. It's aggressive, but it doesn't hurt your thumb. The clip point, very sharp, very pointy, works out very well. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing here. This is that point in the testing where I just brain fart and do something really stupid. So there you go. That's the really stupid scab test. If it'll stand up to that, you know what I'm saying. Now, I moved the blade all around as I was cutting some of this in twainage. I wanted to check every aspect. Every part of this blade is sharp. Now, we're just going to do a regular push cut right here. Again, put my thumb, the jimping's very comfortable. And guys, that 5-inch handle, I absolutely love that. It is a tip up, right-handed carry. There you go, you've seen a good shot of that jimping there. There's another good aggressive look at it. Like I said, it looks aggressive, but it's very comfortable. You see all that. I don't know why the hell I showed you that, but there you go. The G10, you see it's grippy. Now, I believe we're getting closer to the last segment. I'm not sure. But right here, I wanted to cut all kind of mediums. And really what I wanted to do, this is part of my canvas bat bag. This is just that old canvas stuff, is just kind of ease the knife in, push, and you can see there. Now you can't there because my fat ass hand's in the way. But the knife, the tip of the knife is very sharp, cuts right through there, no problem. You can get in and do some fine work with it. I would dare say this is probably a decent knife for food prep. We didn't do any of that this time. We may start doing a little of that, and there I am with the hand in the way again. You can always count on old Scab for some cinematographic masterpieces there. Now, the Propel bottle stab, this is a very important part of the test. I don't know why. It's just, I like stabbing plastic, so there you go. You see the knife goes in. Oh, one thing I do like about doing this, and the one reason I keep going around, is you see how the plastic has more and more give. That just shows the sharpness of this tip. Now, again, I think it's wise every now and then to stop and just show doing a little whittling, doing a little shaving. We did a little feather sticking. I think sometimes, guys, we feather stick because, hey, that's a go-to. Everybody does it. It's good to see. But it also shows the control of the knife. So while no, I don't like doing just feather sticking for an entire video, I do like doing some to show you again. Thumb placement, no hot spots. I had my thumb on that jimping a good bit, and guys, I'm telling y'all, I had no discomfort. Now, just out and out shaving. This is part of that old hackberry, a very hard wood. And the thing about hackberry is this, it does not dry out fast. It really doesn't. So it makes tests like this kind of nice because you still get those good clean cuts. You know, on dry wood, sometimes you're pissing up wind or, you know, but with hackberry, it is good for slicing. Made the neighborhood kids some punji sticks. Always a good thing. Well, guys, that's it. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Everything is going to be all right. I'm Scab. You're not. And I'm gone, son.